Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to the car. So, a while ago, somebody asked me to make a video about what is something that I wish I would have known earlier. And I thought a bit about this, and I figured out that the number one thing I wish I would have known earlier is how to be wrong about stuff and how to admit that I'm wrong about something. Because I've sucked at this my whole life, and it's only in the recent 2 years or so, the last 2 years, that I've confronted this suckage and started working on it. And it's so much easier than I ever thought. And I really feel so silly now that I know. Because in the past, when I knew I was wrong about something, there was some kind of stoppage or blockage or whatever in me that I didn't want to admit that I had messed up. So I would go to these ridiculous lengths to hide that I was wrong, and I wanted it, like, if I knew I was wrong, at least I wanted to keep it private. I didn't want anyone else to get in on it. And I would sometimes go to these ridiculous lengths to protect the fact that I was wrong, like not telling people that I had put bugs into software and things like that. Very, very silly. But instead, like, trying to come up with ways to fix the bugs under the pretense of fixing something else and not calling attention to the thing I was actually fixing. Very strange behavior, but it was something I was doing for many, many years. Really, ever since childhood. And I don't really know why it started, but I remember vividly the day that it started. It was in second grade, in elementary school, second grade, and we had English homework. I think it was, and I had done some like glossary words homework task, and I brought it back to the school the next day, and the teacher would correct it. But we had a substitute teacher the next day, apparently, and when she corrected my homework, she found a mistake. And it was the first time I'd ever made a mistake in school. And I was so used, because they would always put like this little R if you did something right, and then a check if you made a mistake. And for the first time, my little homework book didn't have all R's. It had a check. And I was devastated by this whole thing. And I went through this weird stages of like blaming the substitute teacher. It's like, oh, she's not my real teacher. This is actually correct. Just let me talk to my real teacher, you know? And anyway, I remember it so well, and it just, from then on, I just hated being wrong about things, and every time it would happen, I would go through these stupid stages again in my head. And today, I know that the right thing to do when you're wrong and you realize it is to just immediately verbalize it and say, hey, I'm wrong about this, you know? Or if you can even verbalize it before you're sure. You can say, maybe I'm wrong about this. Or I might not be right about this. And these are words that are new to me, but they're very nice words. And it has lightened my soul quite a bit since I learned about this. And it's also something that has like kind of prevented me from getting into many kinds of discussions with people. I very often avoid debating issues with people if I'm not like extremely well informed, and maybe that's generally a good thing. But even so, I think it's perfectly human to participate in debate where you don't know everything, and then just having the grace to say, well, I don't know this. or sort of delineating what you actually know in contrast to what you don't know, and then you can still have a discussion that way, right? But this was something I just instinctively shied away from my whole life. Like I didn't want to talk to people about things I didn't completely understand, basically, which limited me to really mostly discussing my interests in life, which is why I primarily have friends who are into computers to an extreme degree, or into one of my other niche interests to an extreme degree, right? And I suspect that that's probably pretty common among those of you listening to me right now as well. Um, I mean, it's not weird to have friends who share your interests, but I always struggled to make friends who had other interests because I couldn't engage with them, and a lot of that was for fear of being wrong about something. So, um, if this is something that you struggle with, or you have struggled with in the past, um, then you should know that it is really easy, um, and all you have to do is just say, you can just start by saying this: I might not be right about this, or I'm not sure about this, and trying to say that when you're talking to someone about something. It's um, it's been a liberating thing, and I can tell you that I wouldn't be doing the Serenity operating system project if I hadn't developed this skill recently, because, or at least I would have quit in frustration by now, because um, due to the nature of the project and me having written so much of the code, people are finding bugs in things I wrote on a daily basis at this point. And, design mistakes and stupid typos and um, inefficient things and just plain wrong things. Um, and I'm just like bombarded with exercises for this skill at this point, which I find really healthy, right? Because I get to exercise um, the admission of being wrong every day, and I get to talk to people who are smart, curious, and benevolent, and have like a personal interest in like correcting the thing I was wrong about. So it all works out in a really nice way. But yeah, that's definitely the thing I wish I would have known earlier. It's just the fact that you can say, "Oh, I might not be right about this," and when it turns out you're not right, you can just say, "Oh, I was wrong about this." And as it pertains to programming, like for me, I think the biggest thing was when I introduced bugs somewhere. I just really didn't want to admit it, or I somehow wanted to blame something else. And um, if that's something that you can relate to, then I think a good habit to make is to just file bugs. Um, just get into the habit of filing bugs. Whenever you find a mistake, try to just file a bug about it instead of trying to make a mental note. And that, at least that's something that helped me. And I'm still working on that, though, to be honest. Like I'm still not great at that part. Like I find bugs and I still have this sort of bad habit of making mental notes of them, or mental notes, right? Thinking, oh, I'll just fix that in a moment. I'll fix that a bit later after I do this other thing. And I do forget things because of that, and I do need to get better about it. So I guess I'm partly hoping that by speaking these words, like I will will myself into action on that. But we'll see. Anyways, there are many things I wish I would have known earlier, but this is the top one for sure. So, um, that's that. I guess we can probably make more videos about this subject in the future, about things I wish I knew earlier, but let this be the first one. So that's that. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me in the car. If you have any questions or topics, suggestions, then leave a comment. Otherwise, I'll just see you next time. Bye.